My name is Megan Devison. I am a monster hunter. And today we're investigating Thunderbirds. Today we're in Canada, a land of epic mountains and adorable wildlife. A nation so polite that even the bathrooms make you blush. But we aren't here to be bear-bait. We're here to investigate the theoretical threat of thriving thunderbirds throughout the land. The thunderbird is a supposed giant black bird with a wingspan between 9 and 70 foot long. The Thunderbird mythos dates back hundreds of years, with these creatures occasionally featuring in ancient rock art. In fact, the First Nations people of Alberta throughout the 19th century reported seeing this bird. There is also a very famous photo circulating on the internet. It is rumoured to be a taxidermied thunderbird. Although compelling at first glance, the image is actually of Kenneth Campbell, now curator of birds at the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. Here, in the photo, he stands in front of a cardboard cutout of an extinct giant bird species from Argentina. It was called Argentavis magnificens. A great tantalising photo, but unfortunately not credible evidence for the Thunderbirds. Today, Thunderbirds are spotted across the skies of America and Canada. But it was some intriguing sightings in Banff National Park that caused me to book my ticket, pack my bags, and start researching how to attract Canadian birds. Before heading into the depths of Banff National Park, we wanted to learn firsthand more about the Thunderbird and the part it played in the culture and beliefs of the First Nation people of Canada. These shots are from Thunderbird Park in Victoria and Stanley Park in Vancouver. Here, impressive totem poles stand amongst the trees. The Thunderbird commonly stands at the top of these totem poles, wings outstretched. The First Nation people of British Columbia and Alberta believe that these creatures caused thunder with a crack of their wings and shot lightning from their eyes. They also believe they feasted on massive whales. Sounded like a cryptid that had to be seen to be believed. Hopping into the car, we headed northeast from Vancouver and into the open skies of Banff National Park. If Thunderbirds really did exist, they were likely to live far away from big cities and closer to plentiful food sources. But before we could even leave the city, I was seeing giant black birds everywhere.
Thunderbird. Ooh, Thunderbird. Thunderbird. Ooh, Thunderbird, Thunderbird. Thunderbird. Oh no, wait, that is just 3 planes doing a death roll in the sky. Oh my god, Canada. Thunderbird. Thunderbird. So apparently there's some sort of giant plane show in town, which, isn't going to make things difficult at all.
But it wasn't long before we entered Banff and made a beeline for the tallest mountain we could find. Enter the horrors of Mount Fairview. In order to get to the bottom of this mystery, we had to get to the top of this mountain, and wanted to get a bird's eye view of the land.
I mean, I guess it is viable that a bird could get that large. There has been huge bird species in the past, and there's plenty of food in these parts.
As we walked on, we soon found a perfect example of a Thunderbird-sized snack.
Oh, look at that, it's cute! It's a little trash panda! Well, we gotta make it to the top. That's like the best chance of spotting anything large flying around these trees.
And soon we made it to the top. We're in Canada, Alberta, and we've just climbed the top of a mountain called Mount Fairview. We thought we'd get up here and have a look around, see if we can see anything. We've got a bird's eye view of pretty much everything, but there is a lot of smoke, as you can see. Unfortunately, at the time of this expedition, Canada was very much on fire, meaning that we had very little visibility. However, we'll keep our eyes open and we'll look for the Thunderbird during our travels. Finding no giant flying monsters though, we stumbled down the mountain and into a very good night's sleep. In the morning, I was invigorated by another report I'd heard about nearby. It wasn't recent, but oh boy, was it credible. So we set our sights on a new, promising location, Emerald Lake. In a book by Dan McCowan called Animals of the Canadian Rockies, he outlined a sighting with a mysterious giant feathered fiend back in July of 1925. This was reported very close to Emerald Lake, so once we got there, we quickly hired kayaks and got out into the water. There, we had a beautiful view of the open skies.
Okay, so the story goes that two tourists spotted a brown bird of immense size flying near the Tower of Babel. That's like an hour drive from here, but way less as the crow flies, or as the Thunderbird flies. So these two travelers saw this massive bird and noticed in its claws was something huge, dark and bulky. The bird flew lower to the two who, shocked with the vision, began to yell and scream for help.
These loud screams caused the bird to drop its prey with a thud and flee. Harold Fuller, who was a park warden in the nearby Lake Louise, responded to the incident. He documented that the prey had been a fawn of a mule deer, weighing something like 15 pounds, which is 6.8 kilograms. He also noted that for a bird of prey to even lift a couple of pounds, it would be considered extraordinary. Despite hours on the water and in the local area, no giant birds sadly made their appearance. So we headed back to Vancouver and were left wondering, what are people seeing and possibly mistaking for Thunderbirds? My mind went back to the planes that had tricked us earlier in the expedition. They could be a candidate, but would they really fool someone into thinking that they were an organic life form? Possibly, but I wasn't sure. My primary suspect was just normal birds. Of course, when you're under stress, some birds may appear larger than they actually were. And Canada certainly has no shortage of interesting birds.
Said no.
Another suspect is large birds that are not native to Canada and have escaped captivity. This could include things like the Andean condor, which is one of the largest birds of flight. Overall, the strongest theory for me is that these are just smaller, regular native birds, such as eagles, doing extraordinary things. Fear coupled with shock means that people report the size of these birds as much bigger than they actually are. Check out this footage from 2012 in Montreal, Canada, where a golden eagle attempts to grab a baby and fly off with it.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Now you would forgive this mother if she reported this bird as a beast twice the size. But just as the sun set on this adventure, so did it sink into the bay of beautiful Vancouver, closing this chapter on the Thunderbird, for now, but maybe not forever.